On board Forbearance Space Station. The crew are all dead, brutally murdered by the servants of Khorne. Of course, there's nothing to do now except grab everything that isn't bolted down. After considering your options, you decide to head to the armory. You have an excellent weapon in the Necron Gauss rifle you managed to acquire. But you have been using basic flak armor and a beat-up old carapace breastplate for protection. If you're going to be dealing with bloodthirsty psychotic maniacs screaming their lungs out, you might need to be able to take a hit or two. You follow Book and his beastmen down to the armory. You've been by his side long enough that you hardly notice their pungent smell anymore. Meanwhile, Kazazel headed to the brig to try to acquire new crew members. Ophis the Slith and Antarax, the renegade tech priest, made their way down to the archives to get the comprehensive data logs on the vessel and data on the colonies of the Misericordae system. Teresa was keeping an eye out for approaching vessels and coordinating everyone across the Vox link. As you and Book head towards the armory, you find headless corpses and shattered blast doors everywhere.
That's not a good sign. Looks like they had the same idea we did. Can't say I'm surprised the Khornates went straight for the place with all the weapons. Whatever. Maybe they didn't take everything.
Teresa's voice crackled over the comms.
How's everyone doing?
Swimmingly, my dear. Oh, it's about what I expected. A lot of bodies with missing heads. Oh, but I found a few resourceful miscreants who hid amongst the bodies of the dead. Oh, no. Oh, come on now. I'm not going to skin you alive and wear you like a set of pajamas. Well, I might do just that if you keep backing away and swinging that rusty piece of scrap at me.
I think we've just reached the doors of the archive. Given the temperamental nature of the machine spirits I've met on this vessel so far, I'm going to avoid using any unnecessary explosives that might damage the logs.
Bah! There's no such thing as unnecessary explosives.
You are a vexing creature, beast man.
Come on now, let's stay on task. Book, newbie, how are things on your end?
You enter the armory with the beastmen, and to your disappointment, the place looks like it's been ransacked. However, there still do seem to be things lying around that were not deemed important enough to steal. Super soldiers in chaosed-up power armor might not need normal human-sized gear.
It looks like they took all the heavy weapon stuff. Las cannons, heavy flamers, bolters, heavy bolters. Yeah, but it looks like there's still some stuff here. Most of the armor seems intact, just, all over the floor. As far as guns go, well, at least we'll have fresh gear for the pit.
Book's description of the situation was accurate. Most of what was left was standard guardsmen and PDF fare. But as you both do some digging, you're able to find some quality, full-body carapace armor, bearing the symbol of House Xavier.
I was hoping for better stuff, but this'll work fine for the boys. You could probably use an upgrade too, pal. The rest of that's pit fodder. Hey, Teresa, get some hands down here.
I've got Antarax's servitors en route. Just pile up the stuff and they'll haul it away.
You and the beastmen pile up the remaining gear as Book grumbles.
Guns would have been nice, but I never get what I really want. A suit of power armor that actually fits me. Is it too much to ask for a helmet that has space for horns? Or maybe something that works with these legs. Not everyone walks on their heels.
You smirk as you look at Book's digitigrade legs and imagine that it would be quite difficult for him to find a piece of power armor that would actually fit him. Maybe some far-flung, isolated, and forgotten renegade forge world with an unusual tolerance for mutants. After gathering the gear you could find, the servitors arrive and begin hauling it back to the ship. Antarax's voice crackles over the Vox.
curious.
What is it?
It seems as though the archives have been deleted. There is nothing here.
That's unfortunate. But why do you say curious? When the station was attacked, maybe someone on the crew deleted important information to keep it from falling into the Cornate's hands.
Cornates are not known for their information gathering. But your assumption might still be correct. From what I can tell, that is certainly what we're meant to think.
What do you mean?
They tried to hide their tracks, and they were very clever about it. But I recognize scrap code when I see it, no matter how well it's hidden.
Scrap code? I can't say I've ever seen those screaming maniacs or their cultists pull off anything like that.
No. I think there's someone else involved in this. I think these butchers are just here for the killing. I think someone else is behind this attack.
Oh, well, that is simply fascinating. We might be dealing with someone a lot smarter and more dangerous than our comfortably predictable crimson lunatics. But I think I have some good news. It appears one of the guards in the brig hid in the laundry chute. Oh, he's half-starved and a babbling incoherent mess. But I bet if I ask nicely, he'll be happy to tell us exactly what happened here. Boss, are you sure this is a good idea? This might be a giant mess that we want no part of. Oh, maybe. Maybe. But I smell opportunity here. And if we play our cards right, we can profit off this carnage. And I always approve of profit and carnage, as long as I'm receiving the first and delivering the second. But I think we're done here. We need to plan our next move.
There is something strange going on. From the vid recordings you saw, it appeared that this place had been hit by a warband of world eaters, and the piles of mutilated corpses seem to confirm this theory. But Anthrax believes that a more sophisticated party might be involved, possibly pulling the strings that brought the Cornates along with promises of slaughter. So what do you do? Do you wish to scan the Vox waves for distress signals, possibly to figure out which planets are being attacked? Do you wish to sit in on Kazazil's interrogation of the guard? It might not be pleasant to watch, but it might be good to hear the information for yourself. Do you want to suggest cutting your losses and looking for a less risky target? Do you want to suggest using long-range scanners to see if any Imperial or Xenos vessels might be translating into real space in response to this attack? Do you have a guess at who might be involved in this attack? These choices are yours. You may also post your own suggestions for your actions in the comment section below. The suggestions with the most likes will have an opportunity to be included in the poll that will come out shortly in the community tab, where you can select your next course of action. No man do they call me, my mother and my father, and all my comrades as well. Thank you all for listening to this week's episode of Kazazil's Merry Marauders. If you enjoyed the story, please leave a like and comment so that hordes of screaming corn worshippers do not suddenly appear on your doorstep. If you are not yet subscribed, please do so you can hear more stories about ruthless piracy. And if you really liked what you heard and simply must know how you can support me further, you can donate via my PayPal or Patreon, which will be linked below. And if you're completely confused as to what's going on, you can click on the playlist where you can see the rest of the story, and that link should be appearing on screen right now. Thank you all for listening once again. No Man out.